Picking the right broker can often be a daunting and complex task. There's so many brokers nowadays and they all offer different things. But I've been trading for over 10 years now, and I will say I have a lot of experience using hundreds of different brokers. So today we're going to be ranking some of my favorite brokers out there to decide which one is best to use. None of this is financial advice, but let's dive into this. So here we are in Tier Maker, and what we're going to do is basically describe each of these brokers for you guys and the advantages of using them, and then we're going to rank them based on my experience as a professional trader. So without further ado, let's start with FBS. FBS, I would say, is a decent broker. I mean, they have aggressive marketing, bonuses that appeal to new traders, but in terms of execution speeds and quality, and really just consistent customer support, these guys really do have major drawbacks. So I'm going to rate FBS in the D tier. But who's actually going to get into the S tier? Let's find out throughout this video. So let's start with FXTM. This is actually a pretty decent broker. It's good for beginners due to its low cent accounts, but I would say the fees just generally are a lot higher than other brokers, and they have limited asset variety to really hold it back. So when I'm going to rate this one, I'm actually going to give it a C just because of that point. And while we are on the C tier here, guys, let's take a look at HotForex, because HotForex have decent trading tools and they do have copy trading, but the average execution speed isn't that great, and they actually have a lot of platform stability issues when there are lots of congestion in the market. So let's put this one in C tier as well. Next, we've got PU Prime. Now, PU Prime is one of my favorite brokers of all time. These guys consistently have competitive spreads, and if they're not beating other brokers, they'll often just lower their spreads to do so. As well as that, they have super modern capabilities, and I'll actually do a little bit of a review on this after our rating system, because this is one of my favorite brokers of all time. They have copy trading, and they have decent global regulation, allowing you to trade in over 200 different countries. And I would just say, based on my experience, guys, fees super low, infrastructure super fast, and the withdrawal times are incredibly quick as well. So this is actually going to be our first S tier here, because this is actually the best broker that I have found in many, many years of trading. But what about FX Pro? This is definitely a decent broker here, guys, but they do have some issues because they have slightly wider spreads compared to their competitors. That being said, they do offer multiple trading platforms and they do have solid regulation. So based on that, I am going to give them a pretty generous B tier here. I was going to put them in C, but I think they deserve a B just based on their infrastructure. But in terms of spreads, brokers like PU Prime completely blow them out of the water. Next, we have XM. I was going to put this down in D tier, but I did actually consider the fact they have really good education. So if you're a beginner trader, I mean, these guys are definitely a place to go, but not quite as good as PU Prime or some of the others we'll talk about here. But in terms of resources, promotions, yes, these guys do well. Spreads are kind of mid, so we'll leave it in B tier for now. What about DRIV? DRIV is simple and innovative when it comes to trading options, especially in synthetic indices, but it does lack a lot of regulation, and the transparency of the platform does make it a little bit fishy. So I was going to give this in C, but based on all of the trading stuff here and the options, I am going to put it in the B tier. Now, the rest of these are actually going in A tier here because Tickmill, for example, have super strong regulation, but they do have excellent trading conditions. So yes, I mean, they are one of the best out there, but not quite as good as PU Prime when it comes to infrastructure and just having that modern tech to help you. Exness does have access to high leverage. That's why it's in A tier here. And it is a pretty reliable platform. As well as that, they do have pretty decent withdrawal times, which is good for the high frequency retail traders. And then finally, we do have IC Markets. Let me know in the comments where you think this should go. But for me, I am sticking it in A tier here because it is renowned for its ultra low spreads, high-speed ECN execution, especially attractive to scalpers and algorithmic traders. But again, compared to something like PU Prime, I mean, it just doesn't get close. PU Prime, in my opinion, is the absolute top broker. I will leave a link down to it in the description if you're interested in it. So let's take a look at PU Prime real quick. These guys have access to over 1,000 different trading products. They have multiple regulatory licenses, And because their regulations aren't super strict, but they are pretty decent, we can get access to these guys in over 200 different currencies. So for someone like me that travels a lot, going to Dubai and other places, I mean, this is great when it comes to trading and just not worrying about being restricted. As well as that, their customer support is fantastic, and they have a very, very cool feature here, which is copy trading. They have their own app in which you can trade on, but if you're interested and you do use something like MetaTrader, then you can do so very easily here on the platform, where you just connect it to your MetaTrader, whether that's 4 or 5. And yes, if you are someone that's a bit newer, doesn't know MetaTrader, then you can just use their app and trade on that app very, very easily. So yes, I would say PU Prime, in terms of being a beginner trader or an advanced trader, these guys do cater to everyone. Their withdrawals are super fast, their spreads are super low, and they do give access to a bunch of different assets here, including cryptocurrency. So good stuff there. That is PU Prime, and that is exactly why they are rated in the S tier. So that is going to be the video. Hopefully you have got some value from this. I'm always happy to share my experience with you guys. If you do have any questions, throw it in the comments. But besides that, that is going to be it. The S tier king is going to be PU Prime. I will leave a link down in the description for you guys. That's going to be it from me. I will see you in the next one.